Yes, Susan, point taken. I will just come back to you. Mr. Wadhwa, you mentioned about the leverage bit. You said that the US has leverage here with reference to President Trump's visit. With this approval rating that has plunged to new lows with midterm elections approaching, would you agree that there is more baggage that Trump is carrying at this point when it comes to the outcome of the high-stakes summit?
United States, as far as President Trump is concerned, he would like to show that the visit has got gains. And obviously, the biggest amount of gains that can be obtained is in the trade sector. And there, I think there is some sort of an agreement because there were long talks between Scott Bessent and his counterpart just hours before the visit actually got underway. And the Board of Trade has been talked about as a proposal. The Chinese would also like to set up a Board of Investment so that they can also talk about the loosening of investment regulations into the United States. But that's a matter to be discussed. I don't think there would be an immediate agreement on that. One of the other issues that the United States would like to set up is a dialogue on artificial intelligence with the Chinese, because that was something which was not something very seen as important maybe some years ago. But today, in the light of the risks that have arisen as a result of the advancements in AI, and China is the other important country in this regard, so that dialogue would go a long way in trying to set up a roadmap for the future where two countries could talk to each other on a regular basis. I see these two as an important takeaway as far as the United States is concerned.
Yes, Mr. Wadhwa, quick follow-up question. How do you see the summit taking place vis-a-vis India's relations with China and US, and of course in the backdrop, the blockade of the Hormuz Strait, which has also impacted India?
So I think as far as India is concerned, its relationship with both the United States and China are on a separate footing. Both have progressed, by the way, quite a bit with the United States for many years in the past. And as far as Chinese are concerned, ever since Galwan happened, there was a sort of a freeze in the relationship, which seems to have thawed over the past year. So people-to-people exchanges are back. The airlines have started functioning once again, and India is talking about Chinese investments in non-strategic sectors, and as opposed to what used to happen when Press Note 3 was fully operational. Then, of course, we have to watch in India as to what happens in terms of the liberalization of tariffs between United States and China. And if the $30 billion trade on each side would include products which India is exporting to the United States or exporting to the Chinese, then of course those might be affected to some extent. But the opening up of Hormuz will affect India greatly. It will benefit India, in fact. In fact, it will benefit all the countries of the region in Southeast Asia, all the energy importers who are there watching very closely how this takes place.
Yes, Mr. Wadhwa, stay with us. Susan continues to be with us. Susan, I'd like to take the same question from you. When it comes to the midterm elections, pressure has, of course, been piling on President Trump. Talk to us about the sentiment back home. And is there more that in terms of the baggage that Trump is carrying as far as this visit is concerned?
Well, I think both sides, whether China or the United States, they both think that they have the upper hand. While China does appear powerful on the surface, remember its economy is suffering to a great extent. It has youth unemployment, consumer spending is at an all-time low, and then the energy crisis in the Strait of Hormuz has really put a dent in its economy. But on the other hand, here in the United States, American farmers are watching this meeting very closely, considering the fact that they hope with the high price of diesel, China would be open to buying, for example, more beef or soybeans, and then, of course, Boeing aircrafts as well. But I think ultimately, the two sides know that while there are hawks here in the United States that are advocating for decoupling, and they want to have some sort of independence from each other. Ultimately, their fates are tied to each other in many ways. There are many areas of cooperation. And I think the American people are seeing that. It's a tough call for the president, considering the fact that so many jobs have gone overseas. Unemployment has really risen because of China's export economy. But the United States hopes and Americans hope that there will be not so much free trade between the two sides, but a more fair trade between the two sides, where Americans can also benefit from the market inside of China. So yes, China is important to the U.S. economy, but perhaps the United States is also equally important for China as well. And I think Americans realize that.
Right, Susan, point taken. Mr. Wadhwa, just last point from you. US military arsenal has also been depleting, with both economies contributing to almost 40% when it comes to the global GDP. Talk to us about how important will it be for Trump to secure good deals when it comes to those deals with China, especially in terms of securing those rare earth materials from the country?
So I think as far as rare earths are concerned, in Busan last year, the two sides reached a sort of agreement, and in return, the United States had also liberalized as far as tariffs are concerned. Now, that truce is supposed to end in November this year, and I feel that the truce will be extended. Because it's both sides have seen how much they have to gain in terms of equanimity and stability as far as bilateral trade is concerned. So I think Chinese will not be averse to continuing the liberal attitude as far as rare earths are concerned for the U.S. industry in particular, and of course for the other countries in the world as well. United States would continue to liberalize the tariffs as far as possible, and that $30 billion package both ways that has been talked about is in the non-strategic sectors. So it is where the high-tech areas are concerned that there will be some amount of hesitation and friction, obviously, because both of the countries see each other as rivals going forward in the long term. And that rivalry is supposed to actually play down that aspect of liberalization between the two sides.
Yes, Ambassador Anil Wadhwa, point taken. Appreciate you speaking with us. We'll try and connect with you later in the day. And Susan, to you as well, we will, of course, keep connecting through the day to get more developments, updates.
Thank you.